Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV. I, like many people across the country, woke up to find out that Thousand Oaks, which is not far from where we are right now, and Brett, my co-host today, has spent a great deal of time there, was the site of the latest mass shooting in America, assuming that there hasn't been one since then that I haven't seen the news of. But this was the big one, where a suspect shot and killed 12 bargoers and a sheriff at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks. The victims include Sergeant Ron Hellis, a deputy with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, and 11 people who were attending a college night event at the bar. Hellis, a 29-year veteran of the sheriff's office, was one of the first officers on the scene. He was shot multiple times and died in the hospital from his injuries. He was 1 year short of retirement. And they have identified the person who did this is a 28-year-old. I'm choosing not to put their name out there, but it is well, and there it goes at the end. A US Marine Corps veteran who is known to law enforcement. The sheriff said, "We've had several contacts with Mr. Long over the years, minor offenses. In one of those previous contacts with him, he was somewhat irate and acting irrationally. But a mental health specialist who spoke with him at the time said that he did not feel that he was qualified to be taken into custody at that time, unfortunately."
Yeah.
So this is a place that you are familiar with.
Yeah,
actually.
I used to go there every Wednesday. Like, I don't know if it was Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, but Borderline is in Thousand Oaks. Thousand Oaks is 40 minutes north of Los Angeles. It's in Ventura County. It was interesting when you hear about a shooting that takes place there and you think of Borderline, which is itself a country western bar. We used to go there because they had line dancing. It was something fun to do on a weekend. But when you heard about this, one of the first things I thought, in addition to all like the normal things, was there's probably police officers there.
It's sort of bar where you would normally see police officers.
Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, while they're in two different congressional districts, they butt up against each other. There's that, Westlake. Thousand Oaks and Simi Valley went back and forth, and Simi Valley is where I'm from. But Thousand Oaks went back and forth with Simi in terms of being the safest cities in America of over 100,000 people. And so when you hear about shootings in Thousand Oaks, like you know them, and you know that last year was the previous shooting in Thousand Oaks, but that was a domestic dispute at the Oaks Mall, which is just across the freeway and over. But when the sheriff came on, like the official sheriff of the area came on TV this morning to discuss to discuss what happened, he said that there were six off-duty cops who were at the Borderline who stood in front of people to try to shield them. But yeah, it's one of those things where like in Thousand Oaks, you just don't think of this thing happening. Guns in Thousand Oaks, yeah. Thousand Oaks, Camarillo, up north that way, Simi Valley too. Like there are gun owners there. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Library is like 4 miles away from where this happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, in terms of what's happening in that town, it is largely white. The main industry is kind of biotech. The Amgen is up there. And this guy was a former Marine who just went in and shot a bunch of people with a handgun and an extended magazine. It's just a creepy, it's creepy, terrible. There was some very like, it was like shocking, terrible, touching at the same time footage of people who were there describing what happened. Like this is an all ages night. This is when, and then one of the main people that got interviewed in the local news is a father who went there with his son and he apologized to everyone else that he wasn't sticking around to help because he tried to get his son out, and he got his son out.
Yeah, I read that
people didn't make it out.
While it was going on, people were breaking windows on the second floor to try to flee from there.
It's a big place. When you first walk in, that's where the office is, that's where the bar is, and it's more of a bar place in the middle, and then you go around back, and it's a large dance floor. Hundreds of people can fit into Borderline. And apparently the guy walked up, shot the security guard. There's eyewitness accounts from someone who was across the way, saw the man lift his arm, shoot, thought it was a prank, but then continued to shoot and went in. And then when you're talking about the sheriff who was shot,
the
deputy who got, or the sergeant who was shot and killed, he went in to do what his job is, and how was he to know that he was going up against a trained Marine who got the upper hand on him, unfortunately, and then took his own life, according to accounts, inside the bar.
Yeah, that is certainly believed. And yeah, so another shooting.
The extended magazine itself is illegal. The one that he was using, people have it. I mean, I know other people from Camarillo, which is just over the hill, who have like gun safes full of illegal assault rifles that they own and they can get, because you can get it, you can customize it yourself. I know people who customize gun accessories that you're not allowed to have in their own garage.
Or you could buy them from states where it's not illegal.
Yeah, and that's how they do it.
With Chicago, of course. And I saw the NRA was already trying to blame California gun laws. I don't understand what would have been better if he'd had easier access to an AK-47. I don't understand what that's supposed to be. I also saw Senator-elect Marsha Blackburn was, I believe, on CNN, and the host says a bunch of stuff about the shooting, then asks, what do we need to do? And Marsha, literally the first word she says was, we need to make sure that we protect the Second Amendment and our people. But she put the Second Amendment before the people.
Which is so frustrating.
By the way, $1.2 million was spent by the NRA in ads that were for her or against her Democratic opponent. And they are getting a return on their investment today in the wake of another mass shooting.
Yeah.
And as many people have pointed on Twitter, congratulations to the NRA social media team, who will enjoy a 4-day weekend now. And we'll see them on the other side.
Right.
Because they always just go dark. They don't want to say anything. They send out Dana Loesch to accuse the victims of being responsible for this. It's ridiculous. Can we bring up this chart? We do this sort of thing every time. Let's bring up this chart. How many guns the country has from left to right, how many mass shooters it has. That is basically the most strict definition of mass shooter that I've ever seen. There is one outlier, and it is the United States. It's not a coincidence that more guns leads to more shootings. And that seems obvious, I think, to most people. But expect that politicians will be all over TV today saying that it would have been better if all of the college students had been armed, and if there were cops there probably armed. There should have been more cops, and they should have been heavier armed. And there should be automatic sentry guns all over the place in every bar and everywhere that everyone congregates. More guns, more guns, more guns. We keep dying, they keep selling more guns. One of us is benefiting. Seems pretty clear at this point who it is.
Absolutely, financially. And then just a really quick thing that's worth pointing out is they're going to protect the Second Amendment, but they're going to go after the 14th Amendment, which is the Birthright Citizenship Amendment. So it is obvious, and I feel ridiculous that I have to point it out, because the reason I feel it's ridiculous is because one side is acting quite ridiculously in picking and choosing which amendments to the Constitution that to the Bill of Rights that they actually want to protect. Yeah. And it is so transparent to me. The reason they want to protect it is financial interests and not security or safety interests. The NRA wants to make more money off selling more guns. They will take this day off, and they won't have to do anything, because in the wake of mass shootings, typically what happens, and we're seeing certain cracks in this as the shootings tend to affect more children, and in this case, college students at Cal Lutheran and Pepperdine, which are both close by. Cal Lutheran much closer. Moore Park Community College is really close to that. Cal State, Channel Islands, and all the way up through that. But as time passes, it just becomes clearer and clearer that they are going to protect the Second Amendment, but not any of the other ones.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.